Okay, I'm ready to start mission 2 of 10 for my business career agent. So I'm back at the station with my career agent, and I'm going to start the conversation. Now, a transport ship carrying sensitive cargo has been destroyed by pirates in the area. I'm giving you a civilian salvager module, so you can go in, use it on the ship's wreckage, and extract anything to use from their databanks. Once you have that black box, return it to me. Also, there may be some hostiles still lingering around too, so be ready for combat. If you succeed, I may reward you with the brand new mining frigate. He may reward me, but we will get the reward, it says right here. So the objectives are on the right. Acquire these goods. So we get something and bring it here. We need to get the black box. Objective, go out there, find whatever remains of the ship, and use the salvaging module I gave you to retrieve the black box. Of course, if you find any Guristas pirates hanging around, kill them. And we can see that our location for the objective is in a system named Hitanishio, which is a different system than ours. So we'll have to jump through a Stargate. Let's right click and set destination. Oh wow, this one's 5 jumps away. Okay. And here, it's kind of hard to see, but that little icon, if you click it, it'll tell you about the pirates that you're going to fight there. And in this case, it's the Guristas. And you can look up what kind of damage they do and what kind of damage they're weak to if you want to pick specialized weapons that do that kind of damage and resist that kind of damage. So granted items, we'll get our civilian salvager. We can right click, show info. And if we go to the description, a specialized scanner used to detect salvageable items in shipwrecks. And here's some attributes you can look through. It takes 10 seconds to run. It needs to be 5,000 meters from the target. And the only other important things here is that it's a high power slot. So in our ship, we need to put it in a high slot. And CPU usage 5 teraflops, 1 megawatt of power. Let's accept it and go look at this and try and fit it to our ship. So let's accept and then close, and then let's close this window too and open our inventory, or Alt-C. Then we can go to the item hanger and we see our civilian salvager there that they gave to us. Now let's open our ship fitting window here with Alt-F. And we can see right now we have an afterburner, which is going to help our ship go faster, and a Gatling railgun, which will shoot the bad guys. Now the high-powered slots there have the three marks, the mid slots have the 2, and the low slots have the 1. You can see in the bottom right, just above the number 1, which is how many units we have here, the 3 mark symbol is the high power slot symbol, so you can quickly see that that's a high slot item. So if we drag it, we can manually put it right there, or we can drop it right in the center of our ship and it'll know that it should go in a high slot. And it looks like we do have enough CPU here and power to power and equip that module, so we're good now. So we've got a gun and a salvager because they said there might be a bad guy there and we need to salvage the wreck. So let's undock. And we need to make our way to this location. So you can do the same process where you just right click, jump through Stargate, and keep doing that as you go through system to system. And I'll pause the video now until I get into that system. You can also click autopilot and walk away.
Autopilot engaged.
And come back. And in fact, I might do that just to see where it leads me. Now I will go AFK and pause it, and I will be back. Now note, when you go autopilot and you go completely AFK, you're taking a risk. Someone can always blow up your ship, even in high security space. Now if you're in a small ship like this, a beginner ship, and you autopilot through high security space, no one's going to take much interest in you and probably won't blow you up. But if you were in an industrial hauler and you had a ton of expensive items in your ship, someone might go on a suicide mission and attack you, even though the police will come and blow them up. They might suicide bomb you and blow up your ship and just try and pick up whatever wreck, whatever modules are coming out of your wreck. So just be aware that even in high sec, if you're a valuable enough target, people can and will blow you up. So it's never truly safe to autopilot and go completely AFK, but it can be helpful in certain situations, so use it wisely. Okay, my autopilot completed, and it brought me to the station. I'm sorry, the system that I need to be in. Now I need to warp to the location, so I can right-click on any part in space, and go to the agent missions, and go to the encounter and warp to location. Or I can go from my journal under Neocom menu, activities, journal, or Alt-J. And then I can read the details for the mission, and here is where it tells me the objective and the location, so I can right click here and go to warp to location. I should see it right here, and sometimes it gets bugged out and you have to click it to minimize it and then click it to maximize it, and then you get the button.
Warp drive active.
Okay, we're gonna warp there. We're probably gonna have to shoot a bad guy, and then we need to salvage the wreck. Now, normally salvagers are used for salvaging wrecks, but what you get are, you get salvage pieces, and those salvage pieces specifically are used to build rigs for your ship. And if you go to your fitting window, your rig slots, this ship doesn't have any rig slots, but they go right here. Now, rigs are pieces of equipment that you put on your ship that you can't take off. So you, unlike modules that you can put on and take off, your rigs are permanent, and you can take them off. You basically have to destroy them. So you can replace them and put new ones on, but you can't take them off and reuse them. They get destroyed. And to build those rigs, you need the materials that you get from salvaging. You can get it from salvaging. You can also get it from doing relic sites in exploration, where you scan down cosmic signatures. Oh, by the way, we have the acceleration gate here. We need to click the acceleration gate and click activate gate. You can also right click on the gate and hit activate gate, and that's going to launch you forward into a dead space pocket. And here we go. It looks like there's a bad guy right here. We can see him on our overview. Under the general tab, there is a minor threat, and it is a hostile. So we can click on them and click lock target. We can also hold control and left click on them. That'll also lock them. Now that it's locked, we have them selected, and we can click approach. Now we need to see what range our gun is, so let's mouse over our gun here. It says optimal range within 5,000, or about 5,000 meters. We're about 16 kilometers. We need to get down to 5. And now that we're getting closer, let's right click on them and hit orbit, 5,000 meters. And now let's activate our gun, because we're about to be in optimal range. And now it looks like we're hitting them. If we activated our gun too early, then all of our shots would just miss. And now that we set it to orbit, we can see what action our ship is taking here in the center. It's currently orbiting Gurista Rookie at 5,000 meters, which is good. It's going to try and maintain a 5,000 meter distance. And now they are dead. They blew up, and they left this wreck behind. Let's click on that wreck. Here it is in the overview as well. Let's click it, right click, approach. We want to go up close to it, and we want to loot it. If you mouse over the icon, you can see wreck contains loot items. Now let's click, and we can click on open cargo. Approach and then open cargo, and once we're in 2,500 meters, we can actually open it. And this ship looked like he dropped some ammo charges. So we can click and drag them in here, or we could just click loot all down here, and it'll put it in our ship cargo. Now we can use those charges later when we get a blaster or a railgun. This particular gun, the training gun, doesn't take any ammo. Anything labeled civilian is kind of a training module. Okay, Now with this frigate wreck, we can actually salvage this too. Any kind of shipwreck we can salvage with the salvager. And we're probably not going to get anything important from here, but our mission was specifically to salvage this transport shipwreck. So we'll do that in a second. But we might as well salvage this guy's wreck now that we have a salvager. In this case, we're not going to get the actual salvage material that you would normally get. We're going to get just some junk because it's a training mission. But if you fly out to an asteroid belt, if you just right-click, go to any asteroid belt in your system, and then you can warp to it, then there's usually pirates at the asteroid belts. So you'll have to warp around to the asteroid belts and see if you can find some. Now, this might take a while. It might take several attempts. And my skill is really low, so it might take a while. I'm actually going to stop cycling it. And it's normal to cycle many times to try and actually do it. So I'm going to unlock that wreck. And I'm going to lock this transport wreck. This was our mission. And I'm going to click on my salvage module once I have that one targeted. So once you have it targeted, you need to make sure you have them selected. So you can have multiple targets locked, and you can have different ones selected. And you can see that even though I have this one selected now, my salvager is already turned on to this target. So it'll continue cycling on that target. If I wanted to stop it, I could click right on the icon right there, or I could click on the thing here, or I can press that hotkey F2 to deactivate it. So I'm still just trying to salvage, and this thing will cycle, and after every cycle, when it's complete, it tries to salvage, and if it worked, then it'll disappear. But in this case, nope, still going. It's okay if it takes a few times. You're not going to get any less loot. It's just going to take you longer to get it. And there are skills for salvaging. So if you go to your skill tree up here, your training queue, Alt X, then you can search for salvaging. And here is the skill. It looks like I've already got a skill of 3 out of 5. I can't skill up the next 2 because I don't have the Omega clone that's paid for. Okay, it looks like, did we finish? Did we unlock it? I think we did, so we can open cargo and loot all here. Normally, when you salvage something, you don't have to click loot all like that. That's just part of the training mission. So now that we've got the black box, and we've clicked on it, and we've opened the cargo, and then we've moved the cargo into our ship cargo, and we've got the black box. Now we can set our destination back home, and we can make our way there, starting with the first system, jumping through.
Warp drive active.
Now, normally, when you salvage a regular wreck, the wreck will disappear, and the loot, the salvage material, will go straight into your ship's cargo. Or sometimes it'll say, your salvager finished cycling, but there was nothing valuable there, and you won't get any loot. As your skill goes up, you'll have a better chance of salvaging, so you'll have to run less cycles. Some people will take a destroyer, which is a ship class just above a frigate. They'll take a destroyer, and they'll fit it with several salvage modules. And they'll use that as a dedicated ship for going out and salvaging wrecks. Now, you can go out and salvage other people's wrecks. It's not a crime to do that. So you can go around in a salvaging ship and just start flying to the asteroid belts and salvaging wrecks that people have. Now, looting someone else's wreck is a crime. So if you loot the modules that may drop from the enemy, then you'll become a suspect, and the person who owned that wreck can fire on you. But you can totally fly around an asteroid belt and salvage things and face no penalties, except maybe an angry player who was upset you did that. Now, when you salvage a ship that has loot in it, then the wreck will disappear and it'll just leave behind a cargo container. and the cargo container will belong to the person who did it, who killed the enemy. So even if a wreck has loot, you're still fine to go salvage it. And it's a decent way of making money, where if you don't have anything else to do and you've got a couple salvagers, you can go to the asteroid belts and look for wrecks that other people left behind, or even go into a PvP zone if you're daring enough and salvage the wrecks that people leave behind in PvP fights. Alright, we're just going to keep going in this track,
Warp
and
drive
now I'm going to pause
active.
until we get back to our station to turn it in. Okay, the last step here. I'm back at the station. I just need to start my conversation and complete the mission. And we're going to get this reward of a venture on top of the money. So let's check out our inventory on the left. And you can see the red dot is going to tell us where we have a new item. We can click on our ship hangar or Alt-N. And the red item there is the venture. If we mouse over it, we'll acknowledge that we've seen the new item and the red dot will go away. And we can right click on the venture and hit show info and see what it's all about. Requirements, mining frigate 1 and spaceship command 1. And it looks like we have these skills already, so we can get in this ship and use it right now. If we go to the traits, we'll see that it's got bonuses for your mining frigate skill. You can check your mining frigate skill up here in the top left, training Q or Alt X, and then let's see, mining frigate. So we can search in Spaceship Command, or we can use the search button up here and just type in mining frigate. Oops. Here we can see our skill is at 1. And maybe we want to train up the next skill, so we can click on this and click train level 2. We can also click and do train level 3, or we can drag it down into the skill queue. And if we want, it looks like we can even train up level 4, but not level 5 without the Omega clone. So why don't we queue up level 4 as well and hit start. We have to hit start because we don't have any skills training right now. Oh, that's right. I've got another character training, so I can't hit start, but this is how you set your skill queue. And for every skill point you have in mining frigate, you're going to get 5% bonus to mining yield and 5% reduction to gas cloud harvesting. The gas clouds can be found doing exploration and scanning down cosmic signatures. The ship also gets a straight roll bonus, 100% bonus to mining and gas cloud harvesting. So it's going to act as if it had double the amount of miners on this ship. It's also got +2 to warp core strength, which means you can have a better chance of getting away from somebody who's warp scrambling you and trying to keep you from getting away. We've got a 50% reduction in Sino field, which is something that you'll need later when trying to help capital ship players out, but not too relevant for you. So why don't we right click, assemble ship, and right click, make active. When a ship is assembled, you can actually get in it and add modules to it, but if you want to transport it, you'll need to right click and repackage. And when you repackage, it's going to take off all the modules and dump all the modules in your item hangar. But in your ship hangar now you can see it's got the number 1 and it's stackable. And that's how you can tell if it's packaged or not. Now, we're in our ship here, and if we go to our fitting window, we can see we've got 3 slots up top with 2 turret hardpoints, so we can fit 2 mining modules, 1 low slot, and a couple mid slots. So we have a brand new ship. Not much we're going to do with it just yet, but we'll see where the missions take us. So in the next video, I'll do mission number 2 of 10. Correction, we'll be doing 3 of 10 after this one. We just finished 2 of 10.